Hi, and welcome back to Focal Point AFR Talk, 888-589-8840. Obamacare, Chernobyl Care, global meltdown update. You talk about global warming. I mean, Obamacare is melting down. This is Chernobyl style. This is Fukushima. This is the Hindenburg. This is a flaming train wreck. You cannot come up with an analogy that is drastic enough, extreme enough to capture what we are witnessing here before our very eyes. Nevada, by the way, has said, we're not going to let you know whether your navigators are felons. We're not going to let you know because we want to protect consumer safety. And they're citing some business about they have a responsibility to protect consumer safety. Well, that's us, not the navigators. But they're saying we cannot let you know whether your navigator is a felon, even though he's going to have your social security number and have your income information from the IRS. So it's very possible in Nevada. In fact, National Review Online ran some navigators' names through the Nevada Criminal Court database and came up with several possible matches. Now, he doesn't have enough information to know if we're talking about the same guy, but there are several names that are navigators in the Nevada system that are the same as the names that are in the Nevada criminal database. So it's a natural question, are they the same people? Because these people are felons. They've spent time behind bars, in some cases for fraud. Are they the same people? Nevada says we are not going to let you know. Now it turns out a number of these state exchanges are vulnerable to Wi-Fi hijacks. They are vulnerable to a type of Wi-Fi attack that it can allow hackers to intercept usernames and passwords. This from the ABC affiliate in Minnesota. So some guy that knows what he's doing can just sit there in a coffee shop and you go online or sit outside your house and you're transmitting stuff across a Wi-Fi network. They can grab it out of the air, get your password, get your usernames. So the exchanges that are vulnerable, Minnesota, Hawaii, Nevada, Colorado, New Mexico, New York, Maryland, and the District of Columbia. And the Maryland state director, she had to resign in disgrace. The Hawaii state director has resigned in disgrace. The director of the Oregon program, I believe, is on medical leave for 2 weeks because that thing is such a total, absolute, complete disaster. The director in Colorado asked for a raise, believe it or not, even though the numbers they're racking up in Colorado are below their worst case scenario. They said, look, we're going into this thing. We want to sign people up. Let's have some projections. Let's have our best case scenario. And then if things go as bad as they possibly can go, we need to get a number for that so we know what the floor is. We know what the basement is. Well, they've blown through the basement. They've now gone subterranean. They've had enrollments of 15,000 in Colorado by Monday. Their worst case scenario was 22,000 by this date. So what is they're about 33% below their absolute worst case scenario. And you have the director of the state agency in Colorado wanting a raise for all of her troubles. Now, one of the other problems, New York Times finally got onto this. You know about this because we've been talking about this for weeks and months. So CBS and the New York Times just now getting to this, but you listen to Focal Point, you listen to AFR Talk, so you've known about this for months. That shows you how far ahead of the curve you are when you listen to AFR Talk. The mainstream media is trailing us by weeks, if not months. But here's CBS finally getting to a little dirty secret about Obamacare. That is, the premiums may be low, but the copays and the deductibles are out of this world. Let's listen.
The Wall Street Journal says health insurance customers are finding another problem under Obamacare. The new generation of policies have higher deductibles. Consumers have to pay more of their own money before insurance kicks in. The average deductible for the lowest level of insurance on healthcare.gov is more than $5,000.
Now, ABC, NBC did nothing on this. Wall Street Journal, big piece on this. Washington Post doing the same thing. Big problem, by the way, with medications. If I have a chance, I'll get to that, maybe talk about that tomorrow. But CBS is pointing out this flaw. Well, not a flaw. It's built in. It's a feature of Obamacare. Remember, they were aiming for low premiums. Well, how do you keep premiums low? You raise the deductible so it's in lunar orbit. So the deductible, now these people, the average, according to Kaiser, for deductibles is around $1,300 or $1,500 for a family. That was the average insurance plan that people have had that they just got canceled. Had a deductible of $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 for a family. Now for a family, it's up to $12,000 $12,000 you're out of pocket before you get any help from your insurance. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's a catastrophic plan. That's a catastrophic plan, but you're paying 400% of what you were paying before for a program that had low copays and low deductibles. Now you're paying 4 times as much with a deductible that is clear through the ceiling. So this is how Obama, and see, people didn't know this because the calculator that let you get at this information wasn't even on the website. They finally got compelled through public pressure to put it on the website about a week ago. Now people can find out what their deductibles are, and they're screaming like crazy. They cannot afford it. Now, Howard University, clips 3 and 4, Obama's aiming at the millennials. You got to get 40% of the people that sign up for this thing have to be under 35 in order for it to work, because they got to pay for insurance they're never going to need. So that money can be siphoned off the young and the poor and sent to the old and the rich. That's the whole idea. It's a massive redistribution of wealth, socialism on steroids. And they're counting on the young people who don't have jobs, have this major student loans. They're counting on them to cough up money that they're not even going to benefit from, so that old rich people can get their health coverage paid for. So this college ministry or college news source goes to Howard University, all black school in the D.C. area, and the reporter asked these students about what they're going to do about Obamacare. Here's how it went. Clip 1.
And we're here today in Washington, D.C. at Howard University, where we're trying to find one student, just one student who has tried signing up for Obamacare. Take a look. Have you tried signing up for Obamacare?
No, not yet.
Do you think you're going to?
As a college student, that's not really a main focus of mine. So if I need to, then yeah, I probably will sign up for it for right now.
It's not something on my priority list at the time.
I actually don't know. I'm not planning on it, but I don't know what my parents do.
I don't think so.
I'm not too familiar with it, so I'm not sure.
I do think I will sign up for Obamacare.
Have you tried or?
I haven't tried yet, but I do see me doing it in the near future.
I noticed you're wearing an Obama shirt. Are you going to sign up for Obamacare?
I really don't know. Probably not, because I think I can stay underneath my parents' health insurance for a couple more years. I still haven't really looked into Obamacare, so that's why I'm saying I'm probably not going to sign up for it. I have to do more research on it.
Man, and the deadline is December 23rd. Here it is. What is today? December 10th. And she says, I got to do research on it before I can figure out if I'm going to. Well, the deadline is December 23rd. If you haven't sent your money in, you don't have insurance on January 1. Here's the second soundbite from Howard University.
Are you happy with what's been happening with Obamacare?
No. There's been a lot of ordeals with Obamacare. A lot of people saying that they're not getting what they want out of it, and it's screwing up, especially with the website crashing. That's not very good.
Obamacare is expected to cost up to $3,000 a year. Can you afford that?
No, I can't.
Not right now, not as a college student. I mean, I'm a college student, so I'm on a tight budget. I don't know if I have $1,000 to pay for the entire year. I thought Obamacare was supposed to be free.
Oh, man. So most of 43% of the uninsured in America, the last poll I saw, don't even know they have to get insurance. They're clueless. They don't know anything about Obamacare. They don't know what it is exactly. They wouldn't know where to go to find it if they had to. Only 13% of the millennials have said they are definitely going to get insurance through Obamacare. I finally thought of the analogy that might be strong enough, the China syndrome. Remember that movie, 1979, Michael Douglas? Reactor gets out of control. It burns a hole. It just starts burning and reacting, and you can't stop it. And it burns a hole in the earth and goes all the way down to the other side of the globe and comes out in China. That's what we're talking about with Obamacare. It is the China syndrome. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Bill, West Virginia. Bill, welcome to Focal Point with Brian Fisher. Bill, West Virginia, what's on your mind?
Hi, Brian.
Hey.
Thank you for taking my call. First off, I want to just say thank you for what you brought to the people yesterday on Nelson Mandela. I'm sure a lot of people don't realize that.
Well, I didn't know a lot of that till I started doing some research into it to prepare for the show yesterday.
Well, I didn't either. Not half of what you brought out. And I just wanted to make a comment on the division of our religion in the denominations.
Yes.
1 Corinthians 1, verse 10. My voice is giving up. Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that all speak the same thing, and that there be no division among you, but that all ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment. I believe that's where our founding fathers were reading when they were finding our documentation.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to bring that up.
Okay, well, listen, I appreciate that very much. Thank you for that. And what the founders understood is, look, even the different states had established churches. Some of them had the Congregational Church was established. The states at the time of the founding could have an established church if they wanted. If they wanted to establish the Episcopalian Church, they could. The Congregational Church, they could. The Baptist Church, they could. If they didn't want to have an established church, they didn't have to. But that was up to the states. And states had established churches that had preference in law and were supported by taxpayer dollars. All right, one more call before. Let's go to Bobby in Texas. Bobby in Texas, welcome to Focal Point. What's on your mind?
Hey, Brian.
Hey.
I just wanted to know if you were aware of any kind of ministry that AFR might be a part of or anything like that, where I've seen some reports, some pretty ugly stuff out of Africa, particularly in Kenya, where they're burning supposed witches at the stake. Supposedly it's Christian communities, and I've heard of a lot of violence over there. And there's a lot of tribal stuff that's probably held over and put under the guise of religious groups and things like that. But I just wondered if there's any kind of
Bobby, I haven't
American ministry to try to teach these people and cordon off some of it, because I know like in some countries.
Well, Bobby, we're coming up against the break here. I haven't read much about that. What I do know, you talk about sectarian violence. Muslims are marauding, pillaging, raping Christians, burning their homes to the ground, cutting their heads off. In Central African Republic, CAR, you got 450,000 Christians right now, Bobby, that are on the run from Muslims in fear for their lives. They've got them all holed up. I've seen the pictures. Just thousands and thousands and thousands of Christians that are holed up at the airport in one of the major cities there in the Central African Republic, just trying to save their lives from the marauding Muslims. That's where the real problem is with religious violence in Africa. It is Muslim on Christian. Focal Point AFR Talk. Be right back. Stay with us.